This video contains elements that are not suitable for children under the age of 14. Viewer discretion is advised. Hey guys, Fay-Wolfe of Diamond X Studios here. It's a new year. Let's shake some shit up.
I swear to God, I never fall in love.
For the past 3.5 years, I've been making videos ranking the Billboard Top 20 at the beginning of each season. Most of my channel is based around analyzing music from the past, and this Top 20 ranking series has served as my way of keeping me up to date with the hottest current music in America. The only problem was that the Top 20 ranking series did a very bad job keeping me up to date with the hottest current music in America. I'm not going to talk your ear off about all the reasons why, but long story short, the Billboard charts factor in a song's radio play into how high its position is. Meaning that not only does a song need industry support to become a stable hit on Billboard, but since radio has a way of latching onto songs like a facehugger and refusing to ever let go of them, the Billboard Top 20 has a habit of becoming too stable, meaning that I found myself talking about the same songs over and over again month after month. So I thought about it, and I realized, you know what? If this series is meant to keep me up to date with the music people are listening to right now, then let's make it do just that. In this new series, I'll be counting down the top 40 songs on the Rolling Stones chart, starting from the bottom and working my way up to the single most streamed song at the start of the season, and giving my brief thoughts and analysis on each of them as I go. Unlike Billboard, the Rolling Stones charts factor only streaming and sales into their calculations, and so by looking over this top 40, we'll be able to get a much fuller, richer, and more detailed picture of what music the American people are actively choosing to seek out. And if you are someone who gets most of their music from the radio, don't worry. Radio doesn't tend to pick up songs until after they've already proven successful in sales and streaming, meaning most of the biggest radio songs right now are on this list, and several of those that aren't did chart on Rolling Stone within the past few months. They've just fallen out of the top 40 by now. I imagine that some of you may still be skeptical, but if you are, then just know that the most played song on American radio right now is a Chris Brown song, but since it fell out of the Rolling Stone top 40 weeks ago, I do not have to talk about it, and frankly, I think that fact alone makes this entire endeavor more than worth it. Last thing to mention is that, since this is still a music analysis video, I'll wrap things up at the end by dividing all the songs into tiers of quality based on my own personal preference, and then give a brief overview of how the overall pop music scene is doing right now. Now with that, I think we're all set. Let's start off the new year right by counting down the top 40 songs of winter 2021.
You know what I be on, I'm about to go broke, cause I like what I see.
Okay, got a new series, completely uncharted waters we're going into, so I guess there's no better way to do it than just starting at number 40. Let's see what we got here and just go in, do it, and just hope and pray that this was a good idea.
Sometimes it be like that, but I'm not myself. The night you're gone, there ain't no way I'm moving on.
So, I thought I dodged this song when it was right outside the top 20 on the week of my fall ranking, but I guess it turns out that people actually really like this one, so it's still here. I mean, it's not bad, I guess. It's got an airy, carefree quality to it that I suppose I can see some people appreciating in a blow-off track like this, but God, this is just so lame.
And I could keep you nice and warm, won't do no thinking I'm in love.
This song is a collaboration between Kane Brown, Sway Lee, and Khalid. All three of these men are known for making very different types of music, and by trying to make a beat that suits all of them, you wind up making a beat that suits none of them. You've got the chipper little electric guitar line of a Kane Brown song mixed with the swamped out bass of a Sway Lee joint and the drowsy weed nap pace of a Khalid track, and no, it doesn't work. I don't like it. Get it away from me. Next song.
You broke me first. You broke me first.
So, did anyone want to know what it would sound like if Meghan Trainor tried to make a Billie Eilish song? Oh, what's that? Not one single person was wondering about that? Oh, okay, moving on. Okay, this is not off to a great start. Honestly, maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I should just go back to doing the top 20 rankings. I mean, they weren't perfect, but I don't know, maybe I was overreacting. I mean, honestly, at this point, it's going to take something pretty drastic to convince me that this was a good idea. Okay, yeah, this was a good idea.
We'll save our summers are cold and southern comfort. Were we dumb or just younger? Who knows?
Alright, so it turns out that, unlike what Billboard would have you think, the general public has not forgotten about this song, and I personally couldn't be happier about that. I've mentioned Seven Summers a few times before on this channel, most notably when I said that it was a much better retread of Morgan Wallen's big hit from 2020, Chasin' You, which, yeah, it is. This is a warm summer breeze captured in audio, perfectly painting a picture of wistful childhood nostalgia, with the strange edge characteristic of Morgan Wallen's voice toned down, but still present enough that it acts as a sort of grounding anchor that keeps the song from becoming too indulgent in its own sappiness. Huge thumbs up from me on this one. Couldn't recommend it more. Okay, show of hands, did anyone else completely forget that Ed Sheeran was back?
Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see the way the light dances up your head.
So, this is Afterglow by Ed Sheeran. It seems to be a pretty by-the-numbers folk ballad for him, with the notable exception of the vocals, which appear to make use of heavy pitch-shifted multitracking, because apparently Ed Sheeran thinks he's Imogen Heap.
Oily marks appear on walls. Oh, I won't be silent and I won't let go. I will hold on tight till the afterglow.
I consider myself to be an honest man. I call things the way I see them. I'm not afraid to speak my mind, even if the entire world is against me. And I know that many of you are going to turn on me when I say this, but I don't care. It still needs to be said. Ed Sheeran is no Imogen Heap. That'd be a hell of a meme, though.
Stop the clocks, it's amazing. You should see. Stop the clocks, it's amazing. Stop the clocks, it's. Stop the clocks, it's amazing. Stop the clocks, stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clock. Stop the clocks, it's amazing.
After going back and forth about how I feel about this one for the past few months, I think I'm going to put it into the same category as Feel It Still by Portugal the Man, where every time I seek it out, it sounds awesome and puts me in a good mood, but every time I hear it in a commercial, it sounds cheap and dumb and lame. I hear it in commercials very often. I mean, even at the best of times, this isn't high art. Even BTS themselves have admitted that they meticulously designed it to be their big crossover into the English pop market, but I'm sorry, I can't help it. Between the sunny, upbeat vibe and the heavily accented delivery of the members' English, this song is just adorable, and I've yet to get sick of it.
Hey, it's a holiday. I got hoes on hoes and it out of control, yeah.
I know this song is probably going to fade out now that the actual holidays are over, but if there is any justice in this world, Holiday by Lil Nas X will become one of the biggest hits of 2021. And I know that asking if there's any justice in the world is kinda moot by this point, but I don't care, this song fucking rules. The entire thesis statement of Lil Nas X's post-Old Town Road career has essentially been being the biggest one-hit wonder of all time is pretty friggin' dope, except for the stands. And if you don't have room for that type of energy in your life, then I seriously have to question what you're doing on this channel.
What does that say about me? I could do you like I did.
Well, this is pleasant. That's it. Nothing particularly distinctive about it one way or another. It's just a nice sounding little country song about a dude realizing what a massive fuck up he is. My only real observation is that it's nice to hear a country artist breaking out of Texas instead of Nashville. That hasn't really happened for a while. Texas country tends to have a warmer and more pure traditional sound in comparison to the pop and rock influenced stuff you get out of Dixie. I mean, the only huge Texas country star we've got left is Blake Shelton, and considering that he's probably going to hang up his guitar and become an official Harajuku girl any day now, I'm definitely down for getting some new blood in the country pool.
I should probably go to bed before I question my decision.
I repeat, definitely ready for some new blood in the country scene.
You know my ex, so that makes it all feel complicated, yeah.
Honestly, at this point, Machine Gun Kelly just needs to go in balls deep and fully embrace his rock side. This sludgy, overprocessed, one-tone pop punk, one-tone trap thing he's doing here is a half measure and everybody knows it. I'm pretty sure he's only keeping those trap beats in there because he's trying to convince his fan base he's still a rapper just in case this whole rock star thing doesn't pan out for him. And it kinda reminds me of that time Nintendo refused to call the DS the successor to the Game Boy Advance until they were sure it wasn't gonna flop. I'm telling you, man, this genre is on the road to a comeback, and you could be one of the biggest names in that scene, you just gotta lean all the way in. Just do me a favor and don't take Black Bear with you when you do. because Black Bear, just as a rule, needs to be in less things.
'Cause I can't love you more than my hometown.
No, don't leave the town. The town is so sexy, haha.
What if I trip? What if I fall? Then am I the monster?
My primary observation about this song is that Shawn Mendes not being able to get a stable hit without Justin Bieber's help is almost as funny as it is sad. And my second observation is that I have absolutely no idea who this song is supposed to be for. I mean, half the song is Shawn Mendes quietly reflecting on the chilling truth that any mistake you make could shatter someone's world when they put you on a pedestal, and how toxic the dynamic of celebrity worship can be. And then Bieber bursts in and calls the listener a butt breath for not forgiving him for every terrible thing he's ever done in his life.
I was 15 when the world put me on a pedestal. Made some bad moves, trying to act cool, upset by their jealousy. Unforgiveness keeps them in control, holding it against me like you're the holy one.
I gotta say, between this song and Lonely, I think Justin Bieber is vastly overestimating the overlap between people who remember his house-egging phase and people who still care about him.
The way you hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me, hold me.
This song is trying just as hard to be boring as it is trying to be fucking hysterical, and I have absolutely no idea what to make of it. I mean, just listen to some of these lines back to back and tell me if you can wrap your head around this.
I hear a lot about sinners. Don't think that I'll be a saint. Oh God, running to the altar like a track star. But the way that we love in the night gave me life, baby, I can't explain.
I'm a believer, my heart is fleshy. Life is short with a temper, like Joe Pesci. The first step pleases the Father. Might be the hardest to take. If you make it to the water, he'll part the clouds. I know he made you a snack like Oscar Proud. Suffer it to be, so now gotta clean it up.
I mean, I think I appreciate the mellow goofiness of it, but me saying that is totally just me filling in answers randomly on a multiple choice test. I have no idea what the right way to react to this is. I do know the right way to react to this one, though.
I can be your lucky penny. You can be my four-leaf clover. Starting over.
I said it in my fall ranking and I'll say it again here. This is an absolutely fantastic country song, and I'm thrilled to see it holding traction like it is. Chris Stapleton's passionate, distinctive Appalachian voice lends itself wonderfully to this uplifting fantasy about just dropping everything and forging a new path for yourself out into the world, making a new life for yourself from the ground up using nothing but your own bare hands. Considering that Stapleton's 2015 cover of Tennessee Whiskey is apparently still one of the most streamed songs in the country to this day, it's clear that Stapleton's songs have the potential for incredible longevity, and I pray that this song ends up with the same treatment. Absolutely excellent track. Can't recommend it highly enough. So I'm pretty happy that the song is a real hit now.
Put your best face on, everybody pretend you know this song, everybody.
Bang by AJR is the hot girl bummer of 2021, in that I completely understand why so many people hate it, since it's basically a giant middle finger to the world, their peers, and the general concept of good taste. But considering the times we're living in, I often find myself wanting to give a middle finger to the world, my peers, and the concept of good taste. When I hear this song, all I can think of is a drunken circus clown stumbling through the streets and shouting profanities at every person he comes across, and frankly, I find an image that detached and that just over everything to be more liberating than I care to admit. This is a song for people who love the 2019 Joker movie. And you can hate on me if you want to, but I kinda like that movie and I kinda like this song. Bang by AJR, thumbs up from me. I've got room in my life for this.
Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now.
This is still as solid as ever, but I'm not gonna lie, the thought that the time to laugh is what we're currently living through and the time to cry has yet to come is a little bit petrifying.
Niggas chasing clout and claiming bodies they ain't do for real. And my bitch got ass shots, but I promise that this strap is real.
I'm not gonna pretend like I know much about drill music, but in the wake of Pop Smoke's meteoric posthumous rise, it's looking more and more like drill is about to explode as one of the primary forms of hip-hop in the US. Apparently Lil Durk is one of the biggest names in the Chicago drill scene, but from what little I've seen of him, I have some questions about his potential as an A-lister. He didn't really add much to Laugh Now, Cry Later outside a decent Young Thug impression, and on Still Trappin', on his own song, he's getting completely overshadowed by the contributions of his friend, the late King Von. Granted, Dirk still does a decent job here, with some infectious, hard-hitting delivery preceded by those slightly offbeat flows that are so in vogue right now. Not to my taste, but the style has its fans. Let's put it this way. Still Trappin' is a really solid song, where Von, Dirk, and Hitmaker on the beat complement each other really well without overshadowing each other, but it doesn't deliver the star-making performance that Dirk needs to really step up into the spotlight that's being prepared for him. I guess I'll just have to wait for that one.
She put up to fuck me, but nobody caught it. She told me that she wasn't feeling my music. I fucked it. She told me it's nobody harder.
Well, if nothing else, at least the insurrection at the Capitol has allowed me to say that Tory Lanez is the Jake Angeli of pop music, since both of them desperately want to be validated as badass thrill seekers despite being total bitches in real life.
She saw me kill a nigga in front of her before the age of 2, and I'd kill another nigga too. So I let another nigga do something to you.
I remember back in 2017, Rockstar by Post Malone wore out on me after just a couple months of listening to it. Here we are 4 years later, and we've got Rockstar by DaBaby and Circles by Post Malone, which have both been around forever, and yet I'm still not sick of either of them. There's a joke in there somewhere, but not entirely sure where. I'll get back to you on that one.
And I hope she treats like you did on me.
Alright, we're nearly at the halfway point of this countdown, and I hope that by now you guys have seen why I decided to switch up the formula from what I usually do. But if you're still not convinced, and you want another reason why using the Rolling Stones charts is preferable to the Billboard charts, the version of I Hope by Gabby Barrett on the Rolling Stones charts is the original version, not the god-awful Charlie Puth remix. Like I said at the beginning of this video, the biggest difference between the two charts is that Billboard counts radio play while Rolling Stone doesn't. And as it turns out, while the Charlie Puth remix of I Hope may be one of the most played songs on the radio in the US, that's not the version that people are actually choosing to listen to. Now, I know that a lot of people still really don't like the original version, but I think it's fine, and I've got a whole spiel planned out to explain why I think that is in the Billboard year-end ranking video I've got coming up, so I'll just talk about it then.
Maybe some things last forever after all.
One of the most amusing moments of pop music in 2020 for me was seeing Luke Combs posting a video thanking his fans for their support after this song debuted at number 2 on the Hot 100, and then imagining his reaction as he scrolled through the replies wondering why they were filled with 12-year-olds with Arianator in their username calling him an embarrassing flop while posting hyper-filtered compilations of girls dancing to shitty K-pop remixes. Beyond that, man, this highest debut in country song of all time sure does exist, doesn't it?
I'm not your friend or anything, damn. You think that you're the man.
This song is weird. I didn't really feel it at first. It's grown on me. It's got its own flippin' don't give a fuck attitude, and it captures that pretty well, but I don't know, it just feels substantially less special than everything else Billy's put out recently. She said the song is intentionally vague and open to interpretation. And to me it seems like a pretty clear response to a certain incident that happened last year regarding something being done without her consent. Which I am not going to say what it is because I actually respect her privacy, unlike some people. I don't know, I guess I put it in the same category as that Shawn Mendes Justin Bieber song. It wants to be general enough to appeal to a wide audience, but still personal enough to make an impact. And it kind of just awkwardly straddles that line and ends up doing neither. It is better than Monster, since it's tighter and more focused, but this is still the first time it seems like a Billie Eilish song is tempering itself for mass consumption rather than just reveling in its own uniqueness like her songs tend to do. I mean, hell, even the Bond theme did that. I don't know. It's a fine song, and I'm certainly not concerned about Billie selling out, intentionally or otherwise, but this could have been stronger.
Some things just go better together. Probably always will.
So apparently Luke Combs is making better Dan and Shay songs than Dan and Shay are. It's good to know. Also, I gotta say, that's one hell of a contrast hearing Combs' typhoon of a voice belting out over a sparsely orchestrated piano ballad like this. I mean, when was the last time we had a hit song with a voice this forceful and powerful over a piano ballad this spare and stripped back? Let me think for a second to try to answer that question, and for no particular reason, I think I'll recite the alphabet as I do it. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H.
You cut out a piece of me, and now I bleed internally, left here without you.
So apparently this 17-year-old kid is Juice WRLD's protege. He's got more monthly Spotify listeners than Kendrick Lamar, and everybody hates his guts. And I gotta be completely straight with you, I disagree, and I think that people are being really unfair to this kid. This song, without you, it's fine. It's completely fine. Kind of sour and juvenile, yeah, but that's a feature, not a flaw. I'm not bothered by that. This isn't a dude trying and failing to be Juice WRLD. This is a dude trying to do something Juice WRLD adjacent, and it's kind of working for me, not gonna lie. I mean, it's nothing amazing. If I want this musical itch scratched, I'd probably just go listen to Jumper by Third Eye Blind, but I just think the hate is getting really overblown. I listened to his other big song, So Done. A bunch of people told me that one was really bad, and again, I found it to be completely fine. I listened to a few more of the kid's songs, and I mean, yeah, he can't capture the emotional depth of someone like Jared, but I'll be damned if he doesn't know his way around a good hook. I totally get why so many kids are getting into this. I'll be honest, I feel like a lot of people are only hating on the kid Leroy because they hate the idea of a 17-year-old Australian white boy becoming the next Juice WRLD, which for one, he's actually half Aboriginal Australian, that's where he gets his rap name from, but more to the point, I do think he has talent, and I foresee him becoming huge sooner rather than later. Obviously, you're entitled to your own opinion, and I'm not saying there's nothing to dislike about him or his music or even this specific song. I'm just saying that I found the kid Leroy to be much less hateable than his reputation would suggest, and I can only hope the people are giving him a fair shake. Well, I hope that didn't come across as too snobbish or pretentious or anything. I always get kind of nervous discussing these contentious artists. I don't want to really put anyone's opinions down, and it's kind of a minefield. Let's see, who are we talking about next? I hope it's someone a bit more universally beloved. Let's see. Oh, well, would you look at that? It's Megan Thee Stallion and DaBaby. Yeah, everyone loves those two, and her album got great reviews, and this is one of the biggest hits off it, so yeah, let's give it a listen.
Real hot girl shit.
DA got that dope.
That ain't the baby, that's my baby.
Her friends and her mom hate me. Go. Lay down on the bed, do the cry, baby. She ain't gave me none of that pussy in a while. She had the boy waiting, I don't mind waiting. Come here. Oh, you ain't gonna respond to my text? Oh, yeah. Want me keep on my diamonds with sex? What's your name? Keisha. Key. Jasmine. Jazz. Kiera. Megan. Go. Damn. What a nigga gotta do for your number? Shorty came through it, their hair so good. I said, fuck it, I ain't using no rubber.
Lay on my stomach, toot it up, do the cry, baby. Look back, hold it open, now he annihilated. Moaning like a bitch when he hit this pussy. Damn, he probably wanna wear my hood.
Ethan. Yeah? Ethan, you there? Yeah. You there, man?
You okay?
Dude, I don't know. Dude, have you heard Cry Baby by Megan Thee Stallion and DaBaby? Dude?
I have not.
You've not? Okay. How about you just give it a quick listen and let's just make sure we're both hearing the same thing here, okay? I just feel like that's,
okay.
That might be the best way to do it.
Alright,
okay.
let's see.
So, okay.
Cry Baby. DaBaby, Megan Thee Stallion. 3, 2, 1, begin. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, it just keeps going. They really just keep doing that.
That's the beat. That is the beat to the entire song.
It doesn't end. The entire 2 minutes. It's this.
No, it's 2 minutes of that. Yeah, it's I don't know why they thought that was a good idea.
So, do you remember what I said about "She Knows" by Neo?
That's kind of the first thing that I was thinking of when you say that. It's like, hey, remember how that was? You named that. You said that was the second worst song of the decade because it did that like every 8 measures or so.
Yep. This is fucking terrifying.
Yeah. The fucking craziest part is that this I don't believe this is a single yet, and yet this is getting pretty high on the charts because people apparently really like this.
So, okay, the only thing that makes this different from any other Megan Thee Stallion song is the baby whining.
Is the baby whining? Yeah, exactly.
On the beat.
Other than that, it's just.
So the situation here is that the people who listen to this song could be listening to any Megan Thee Stallion song in the world, but they choose to listen to this one.
Exactly.
I'm gonna call it now number 4 worst song of 2021. Calling it.
Calling that right now.
Calling it right now. It'll probably be number 2, but I'm just giving myself a little bit of leeway in case. Charlie Puth releases Marvin Gaye again. I don't know.
With baby noises.
Of course.
Okay, moving on.
What you know about us? Tell you everything. I got what you need.
Alright, so, Pop Smoke. Yeah, remember him? The drill dude who really hasn't dropped many new drill songs since he passed away. It's mostly just R&B stuff, which, if I were more cynical, I might say the label is trying to push to sand off his rough edges and make his posthumous work more marketable to a wide audience. Thank God I'm not cynical, am I right?
You always keep me right, for a fact you never left.
Well, at the very least, I can say that this particular R&B song was indeed something the man himself was probably intending to make. I mean, the entire thing is built on a sampled melody, and clearly Pop Smoke had to sing along with that melody in order to match it. The sampled song is called Differences by Genuine. It was a top 5 hit in 2001. I am literally in the middle of doing a retrospective on 2001, and I have absolutely no memory of it whatsoever. So, yeah, great choice of sample there, guys. I will say that Pop Smoke's deeper voice and natural charisma do make the song a bit more memorable than the original, but this is just in one ear out the other for me. Sorry.
I'm like, come and put that pussy on me. Don't be running from me. If I like it, I spend money on it.
I said in my last video that I'm finally starting to understand Lil Baby's appeal. Specifically, I understand that his appeal is finding somber beats and being nihilistic and or jaded over them. That is not what he's doing here.
She a real bitch, 100 rounds in a double jump. This a kill take.
Apparently Lil Baby made this song because he was bored of sitting around his house not making music all day. And all I have to say is, yeah, this sounds like something Lil Baby made because he was bored.
In all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things I would like to say to you.
Life was a willow and it bent right to your wind.
You know what, I'll admit it. I didn't really give this one a fair shake the first time around. I'm not really into this type of wind-plucked indie folk guitar girl stuff. I think it's pleasant, but it doesn't really stick with me. And when Willow didn't strike the same immediate connection with me that Cardigan did, I was a bit too quick to shrug it off. This is nice. It's well layered. The production practically paints the image of a lone Willow on a foggy night in my head, and it's really well written on top of that. Well, you know, except for this being Taylor's big beat drop moment.
I come back stronger than a 90s trend.
Oh, well, in the words of any self-respecting 90s kid, poggers. But yeah, this one's pretty good. Still not particularly to my taste. I don't see myself returning to it often, but it's a solid version of what it's trying to be. This is one of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life, and it's quite possibly my favorite song in this entire top 40. To be completely honest, I never really got the big deal about WAP. Like, appreciating it as a big cultural moment, sure, I guess I see that, but as a piece of music, I don't really think it exceeds the level of novel and kind of amusing. My reaction to hearing Body for the first time was what I imagine other people's reaction to hearing WAP for the first time was, and guys, I think I finally got it. I mean, this song is basically just WAP if you double the pace and give it an unignorably stupid chorus instead of an unignorably graphic one. And those two little changes make the song infinitely more infectious as far as I'm concerned. I hear a lot of people say they're made uncomfortable by the moaning sample and the beat, but not only does that just make this whole thing even funnier to me personally, but even if you do hate it, you have to admit it could definitely be worse. No, I'm not playing the clip again. Fuck you.
I'm rich, but I'm riding. I'm low on exotic. I'm about to fly out and go give me some.
Babies, you're both pretty. Can I go home now? So, this song is really hot.
Can you stay up all night? Fuck me to the daylight. 30 for 35.
I mean, yeah, this is really hot. It's cute and inviting. The lyrics manage to perfectly toe the line between funny and seductive. The beat is just as coy and playful as Ari's delivery, and ultimately this night of passion she's describing sounds like it would be ridiculously fun. So yeah, big ol' thumbs up from me. Again, this one isn't quite as hot, but it's still pretty solid, and this is another one that grows on me a bit more with every listen. I thought it was a bit too safe and thin on first listen, but the more I hear it, the more the slow build of the strings over the course of the production helps me get more and more into it. It seems like orchestral string arrangements are becoming more and more commonplace in the modern pop scene. I like that. That's a good trend.
'Cause girl, you
want me, I want you, baby, my sugar boo, I'm levitating.
Hi, my name is Andrew Pratt, and what you've seen here today is truly disturbing. The baby has escaped, and he's currently left foot, right foot levitating across the globe. Currently, I'm hiding in this bunker to keep myself safe, and I truly advise you to make sure that you keep yourself safe too during these dangerous times, because we don't know exactly what the ramifications of this means, and we don't know how dangerous this is going to get. Please, stay safe.
This is a moody reggaeton song with a heavy atmosphere. I do not understand a word of it. I enjoy vibing with it, and I have nothing else to add.
I gotta stick to this paper like blue sleep, bitch. I'm by my chicken like it's a two-piece. You can have your bitch back, she a groupie.
Well, I told you drill music was on the rise big time, so for the 5th most popular song in the United States at the moment, I present to you Whoop-Dee by a guy named CJ, the designer to Pop Smoke's future. It occurs to me that a number of you might not actually know what drill music is, so to sum it up briefly, it's an offshoot of trap music that places emphasis on aggressive, nihilistic, and ominous production and delivery over lyricism and emotional depth, with 3 primary scenes in Chicago, Brooklyn, and London. Also, this is mostly a coincidence, but the biggest drill songs of the past few years are often built around some sort of high-pitched melodic beat that sounds kinda like a drill, like the squealing riff in Dior, or the siren in Hot Boy by Bobby Shmurda, or the sampled Indian vocals in this song, Whoop-Dee. Funny enough, that sample, Sanam Re by Mithun and Arijit Singh, is actually a ridiculously common sample in the drill scene. Basically, that song is to drill what Impeach the President is to the rest of hip-hop. So Whoop-Dee is essentially Baby's first drill song in structure. Interestingly enough, this actually seems to take more inspiration from the British drill scene than the American one, from the higher tempo to the Middle Eastern riff to even CJ's delivery. So that's my breakdown of drill music. I'm glad I got to deliver it because frankly I have absolutely no idea what else to say about this one. Whoop-Dee is basically the Tonight Tonight by Hot Shell Ray of this genre. It's the most generic by-the-numbers drill song imaginable, but it's got novelty on its side for now at least. So while I do like it quite a bit at the moment, I somehow doubt this is going to be viewed as favorably in hindsight if drill does end up sticking around.
Zany boss, suicide door, brand new bag.
I'm still not sick of this yet, except for occasionally when I am. Basically, Don Toliver's hook is always great, but I often find myself wanting to bail around the 150 mark, because God, Gunna's such an unengaging presence.
I rock star, pick up toys, tipping walls, hey. Add up raw, finish nuts, and expose, hey.
I really want to say that Gunna's just too damn boring to be an actively detrimental presence to anything, but if he keeps pulling shit like getting overshadowed by Nav, then I just don't know what to tell you.
We play games of love to avoid the depression.
Honestly, this is kind of turning into another Blinding Lights situation, where I definitely really like Mood, but after seeing it turn up on so many best of the year lists, I'm really surprised that so many people are only able to point to a handful of songs from 2020 that they enjoyed more than this one. Then again, most people just seem to think of this as just some really good comfort food rather than something grand and avant-garde like Blinding Lights. And frankly, if you found yourself valuing comfort food more than depth and boundary pushing in 2020, I cannot hold that against you in the slightest. Listen to whatever makes you happiest, man. God knows you deserve it after this past year.
Still believe in good days, always inside.
I am going to withhold comment and serious judgment on this one for now, because by the time I make another one of these next spring, this is either going to be one of my favorite songs of the year, or I'm going to have completely forgotten about it, and I'm not sure which one yet. I definitely am optimistic about its prospects, but cautiously so. And last but not least, the big one. The top of the charts. The #1 most listened to song in the United States at the start of the new year. I mean, it seems a little late for Shawn Mendes to be dropping his contribution to the Greatest Showman soundtrack, but hey, better late than never, I guess. And with that, we have officially concluded our countdown of the top 40 biggest songs in the United States by sales and streaming for winter 2021. Obviously, I've given my brief thoughts on each of these songs, and now to wrap this up, I'm going to divide all of them into tiers of quality based on my analysis and opinions, each of which gives a certain number of points which I will add up and use to score this winter and compare it to past seasons. Please note that the song's order within the tiers is based on the song's placement on the charts rather than how I think the songs within that tier compare to each other. Aside from that one song, which will probably cease existing as soon as I wake up from the night terror I'm clearly living in, we actually have no terrible songs this week. So starting with the bad tier, we've got 3 songs, including You Broke Me First, I Should Probably Go to Bed, and On Me. In the meh tier, we've got 4 songs, including Be Like That, Monster, What You Know About Love, and For the Night. In the decent tier, we've got 11 songs, including Afterglow, Pretty Little Heart, My Ex's Best Friend, Bang, What's Poppin', I Hope, Forever After All, Therefore I Am, Better Together, WAP, and Anyone. In the good tier, we've got 14 songs, including More Than My Hometown, Holy, Laugh Now Cry Later, Still Trappin', Rockstar, Without You, Blinding Lights, Willow, Position, Stakiti, Whoopty, Lemonade, Mood, and Good Days. And finally, in the excellent tier, we've got 7 songs, including 7 Summers, Dynamite, Holiday, Starting Over, Body, 3435, and Levitating. Tallying it all up, that gives us a rating of 68 out of 100, and considering that a 50 by this metric is a down-the-line average season of music, I'd say we're in pretty good shape. Winter is typically a transitional period where we shut off the music of the old year while new trends start to kick off, and considering the ever-increasing relevance of chillwave and drill, I'd say we've definitely got some interesting stuff to keep an eye on heading into 2021. As per tradition, I have a few songs lower down on the charts that I'd like to give shoutouts to, but before we do that, I'd like to give a huge shoutout to my supporters on Patreon. For just $2 per main series video, you can suggest and vote for any songs in the world you want me to talk about in grab bag reviews. The voting for the next episode of this series is closed as of this video going live, so be sure to keep an eye on the channel to see what you guys voted for me to talk about. $5 patrons, whose names are scrolling up on the left, get full access to the official Diamond X Studios Discord server, where you'll always find a bunch of cool people to hang out with, discuss music with, and play Jackbox, Among Us, Cards Against Humanity, or whatever else we feel like that night. $10 patrons are granted early access to my videos even before they premiere, while $20 patrons get to handpick a song for me to do a mini review on in each new episode of Grab Bag Reviews. Thank you so much to my $10 patrons, including Ann B, Bald Mark, Ben Eel, Celeste Sucks, Christian Griffith, Cyril Lafande, Flarboo, Fruit Goblin, Ginger Ace 08, It's Just Louise, Jins 314, John Logan, Leaf Bradshaw, Liam Coles, Liam Kinch, Luke Newman, Luke's 99, Lizette Garcia, Mike Weber, Nick Cage, Prideful Zella, Pullin Pong, Riley Glenn, Ryan Eister, The Cheapest Critic, Tim Shoop, Trivies, Van West, and Zach Riggs. As well as my $20 top supporters, including Arnarock, Dr. Munkty, Capoeirism, Eric Streaming, Fox Navarro, Ghosty, Hey Guy, Sean Fay-Wolfe of Diamond X Studios here, and Jeffrey Berman, KFW, Lexa White, Marcus Ray, Maxie, Mike Duggar, Mike Ram72, Natalie Jane, Nuclear Winter, Pierre Lou Lang, Razor Shark, Roland Webster, Ronnie Rocket, Sarah Parker Shamil, Silmeryl, Spiky Knees, that one guy who hates Bohemian Rhapsody, the music guy in the group, the Nocturne System, 999, Ultranatic Productions, Watcher, and Zachary Finch. I can't monetize my videos because of the copyrighted materials I use, so 100% of my financial support comes from patrons like you. Once I hit $2,000 per main series video, I'll be secure enough to fully commit to making YouTube content full time, and because of you, we're more than halfway there. So as always, thank you for your support. It means the world to me. And with that, let's take a look at the top 3 songs on the Billboard US, Billboard Global, or Rolling Stones charts that deserve more attention.
I think he did it, but I just can't prove it. No, nobody, no crime, but I ain't letting up until the day I die.
So from now on, rather than just using the Billboard Hot 100 or even just the Rolling Stone charts, I'm going to be expanding the scope of my shoutouts to songs that are currently charting on any Billboard or Rolling Stone chart. And to start off, I want to bring some attention to one of the best tracks off of Taylor Swift's Evermore that I think a lot of people missed. It's already fallen off the Hot 100 and the Rolling Stone charts, but it's proving to be a stable hit on the country charts, so I'm going to say it's eligible. I was originally going to give this spot to Champagne Problem, since that song actually is still charting on the Hot 100 and the Rolling Stone charts, and it's an absolutely excellent song in its own right, probably even better than this one objectively, but come on. Taylor Swift teams up with the Haim sisters to write a Carrie Underwood-flavored murder ballad. How could I possibly not tell as many people as possible about this? One comparison my mind jumps to with this song is Luke Combs' Even Though I'm Leaving, since while it does tell a story, it's pretty clear from the outset where that story is heading, and it mostly stands out for being an exceptionally strong delivery of a well-worn idea. However, while Even Though I'm Leaving takes you on a journey of loss and love, No Body No Crime is a somber and understated yet still profoundly gripping story song that will leave you with a satisfied smirk on your face. Part of me does wish this was more similar to something like Hazard by Richard Marx or Angie Baby by Helen Reddy, where there's a bit more ambiguity about what actually happened in the narrative. I think that would have given it even more replay value, but for what this is, I really enjoy it. I know country songs are capable of sticking around forever, and when you combine that with Taylor's star power, I can only hope that this one ends up getting a second wind on the pop charts soon. Alright, so just a little disclaimer, while I am opening my recommendations up to a much wider scope in the future, I am still generally going to stick to songs that I think have a realistic chance of becoming a hit in America. And that's the main idea of this segment to me, to scope out songs which I think have the potential to connect with people on a wide scale. That said, when a few of my patrons recommended a J-pop song to look at for this segment, I was rather intrigued. I was then shocked when I saw that this song, despite being more than a year old, was absolutely rocketing up the global charts to the point where it's currently in the top 20 of the Billboard Global 200 and in the top 10 of the global charts that exclude the US. This song is one of the biggest worldwide exposures that J-pop, or Japanese pop music for those who don't know, has ever had, and while I frankly doubt that it'll cross over into the American market, I mean, hey, we had 2 #1 hits in Korean in 2020, anything is possible. Perhaps the most interesting thing about all of this is that this song, Yoru ni Kakeru, is actually a debut single, being the first release of a duo called YOASOBI. I don't know much about J-pop as a genre or the Japanese pop scene in general, but I do know that one of the biggest acts in Japan has put out 43 singles since 2009, and every single one of them has gone to #1 on the charts over there. So I seriously doubt it's an easy market to break into as a newcomer. I wish I could give more commentary on the song itself, but like I said, I'm not familiar with J-pop at all, and I don't know any Japanese besides a few select karate terms. Really, the only thing I have to say about this is that it's one of the most genuinely joyful and upbeat songs I've heard in a long time, which is ironic since the translated lyrics are actually quite depressing, but hey, it's not like I can understand them. Please pardon the cliche, but this is basically the extended theme song to a really fun magical girl anime, but with a few characteristic pop song tricks to keep the listener engaged the whole way through, including not one, but 2 different key changes. This type of thing definitely isn't going to be for everybody, but it's definitely something I want more people to know about, and even if you aren't typically into J-pop or this type of sugar high music in general, I suggest giving it a try. So, it turns out that Saweetie might be a better Doja Cat than Doja Cat is.
I put my new man on a leash.
I don't know if I'd say this song is necessarily better than the other two. Honestly, they're so different it's nearly impossible to compare them, but out of the 3 songs in this recommendation, this is indisputably the song with the best chance of becoming a big crossover hit. It's built around the same dreamy pianos that have become so in vogue as of late, which I'm sure I'll get sick of eventually, but we are nowhere close to that time yet, and they're supported by some lovely, bouncy, and locomotive percussion work. I'm sure that some of you who are a bit more familiar with Saweetie might be a little bit worried hearing me give all this praise to the production, but no, don't worry. Unlike many of Saweetie's recent singles, Back to the Streets was not produced by Dr. Luke, instead being the grand return of the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only Timbaland. Anyone who knows anything about recent music history will know that this man is one of the greatest and most influential producers of the past 30 years, and while this production work may not be particularly envelope-pushing, it does show that Timbo is able to take the tropes of modern R&B production and do them exceptionally well. However, the production is only half the reason why this song is so great, the other being that Saweetie, who spent the past 2 years making a name for herself finding pre-made beats and being a squealing brat over them, has done a complete 180 into softer, more emotionally resonant delivery while still keeping her spunk and flavor, a combination that fits this beat like a glove. She's basically doing the same thing Doja Cat did on Say So, but while that song only really kept Doja's personality intact on her rap verse and was just a generic disco throwback for the rest of it, Saweetie, who it turns out is actually a pretty decent singer, still manages to let her attitude shine throughout the entire piece, with the R&B elements serving to tone her down in the right places while toning her up in others, with the feature from Jeheni Aika being a simple yet beautiful and very welcome change of pace. This is is just a lovely piece of music, and while Saweetie's collab with the real Doja Cat may be higher on the charts right now, I hope this one doesn't get ignored, because this is really something.
Yeah, that's when I'm back to the streets like.
Alright, this is usually where I do something funny, like a joke recommendation or something like that, but this is another situation where there are so many amazing songs charting right now that I'm just gonna give some honorable mention shoutouts instead.
Why do all the monsters come out at night? Why do we sleep where we want to hide?
I can tell who's on the way out. 25 show, check the payout. I ain't going home, I'ma stay out.
Fuck a princess, I'm a king. Bow down and kiss on my ring. Being a bitch is my kink. Why can't you just let me go? Prisoner. Born to be alone. Yeah, we were born to be alone. 本当って出てくずれ落ちてゆく Trust me, the way that you trust me. And I couldn't give a reason. Champagne problems.
You're so golden.
Fuck what y'all think. Fuck everything that you say about me. My dogs like to play Madden and 2K.
Wait, how did that get in there? That's not meant to be in here. You can take that down now. And with that, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I'd really appreciate it if you'd leave me a like and subscribe while hitting the bell for notifications of every new upload, and also by leaving a comment telling me what you thought of the video, the music of the season, or anything else you want to say. Not only do I love to see this stuff, but it also makes YouTube more likely to recommend my stuff to new people, so if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. I'm Sean Fay-Wolfe at Diamond X Studios. I'll see you guys next time, and until then, take care of yourselves.
Tears for another day. Save your tears for another day.
Oh wait, shit. Fuck, I put Olivia Rodrigo in the thumbnail and I didn't actually mention her in the video, did I? Ah, fuck. I should probably say something about that so it doesn't come across as clickbaity. I mean, it is clickbaity, 100%. I just know that would, get a lot of people in, but I don't know. I guess I should probably say something about her. I mean, it's not like I don't have thoughts. I do. I have quite a few thoughts on that song, so, yeah, here we go. Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo